Well, hello there my friends, and welcome back to the Scott Reed Project. Now today I am going to show you how to completely debone a rabbit. Now I did a video about 3 months ago where I completely deboned a rabbit. I stuffed it and I rolled it, and in that video I really skipped over the deboning part. I sped up the film, and a lot of people said, I really want to know how to do that. Can you slow it down or do it again? Which is exactly what I'm doing today for you. Now what we have here then is one rabbit. This was ferreted, one of the best ways of getting a rabbit. Obviously you can use a 2.2 rifle or a shotgun. With a shotgun, obviously you're going to get a lot of spread. You're not going to get a lot of rabbit left. With a 2.2 rifle, unless it's a headshot, it's not going to be clean. Years ago when I was a kid, and we are talking years ago, we used to try and snare these. That was partly because there was a program on the Royal Marines in the early 80s, and they were doing all that on survival, and we thought we could do it. We were useless, you know, fumbling around with these snares, setting them on underneath fences, getting our smell completely all over him, an absolute waste of time, you know, but hey ho, we were having a go. Another thing about that Royal Marine video, we actually made a worm omelette. I can't believe it. I must have been about 11 or 12, and they said you could eat worms. We made a worm omelette. Gotta be one of the worst things I have ever eaten. Oh man. Anyway, I digress. I am going to show you how to debone a rabbit. Now, there are already several videos on YouTube on deboning rabbits, but when you watch them, they've got like these big, they must be Chinese ones, they are massive, and they've got a lot of fat covering on them, but this is a genuine wild rabbit. You know, this is a sportsman. Very, very lean, no fat on it, and if you watch those videos, there's plenty of fat inside, around the kidneys, over the back, so you've got to be very careful when boning this out, especially along that spine. You can actually feel the bones, so if you get a little bit of a tear there, do not panic, you know, it's nothing to worry about. So first thing we need to do then is get old bunnykins like that, our knife straight up the sternum. Look at this beautiful, beautiful offal. Beautiful kidney, heart, lungs, liver. That is in fantastic condition. Let me just show you that. Always tell how fresh and healthy an animal is by its liver. Lungs are perfect. Seems to be missing a kidney. Never mind. Right. Let's get on to the interesting bit. First thing I want to do then is to chop off the not so lucky rabbit's foot. 1, 2, and then actually I'll take that knife down a bit. And what I mean by that is actually a designated rabbit filleting knife, Victorinox. Normally 6-inch, a boning knife. This is a 4-inch. But obviously, because this is a small one, we need intricate work. I'm using this very fine 5-inch semi-flex Victorinox. And all I'm going to do is just gently nip the legs out of the ball joint. Now next, we are going to go down the rib cage. Not a lot of room for error here. Obviously, like I said, over the bones, there is not a lot. Everything can be salvaged, so I really wouldn't worry if you get any nicks or tears. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I get a few myself. So all we're doing then is just loosening that rib cage. Get that last rib. Very, very lean. Ah, there's that other kidney, look. You beauty. So, I'm just going to leave it there. All the way down to the neck, we have exposed the ribs. Now here, the fillets, I'm just going to gently, because they are ever so tiny, take those out. Again, with the other side. Right, once we've got all those ribs exposed, we just want to gently, very gently, taking your time, take in that neck fillet right down to the end of the neck. Next, we are going to be concentrating on this loin. So underneath, it's a continuation of that shoulder. Just gently underneath it, taking in that rib, as you can see, and that is pretty much as you can see there. We are just loosening it very, very gently, either side, down to the backbone. Next, with these legs, where the cup joint was, we are just continuing, just loosening it very, very gently. So once we have loosened those legs from its ball joint, we are just again continuing to go just gently along. If you look, I'm not putting any pressure on. I am just gently tracing down the bone. And it should look a bit like that then. So it's just hanging on pretty much. Now, like I said, the skin on the top, there was not a lot. So if you can, just gently across the top. I mean, if you get a tear, do not panic. Like I said, this is not a farm rabbit. This is 100% wild, organic. We just take the main carcass out and we lay our rabbit down. Next, we will concentrate on the back legs. Now, if you've got a gap where you've gone through the skin, the beauty is you put your fillets back in, and then it's a case of just boning out these legs with the thigh bone, just like a chicken. So start it off, get your knife underneath it, loosen it off, and then just down its shin, one side. As you can see, there really is not a lot of meat, so you've got to be very careful. Now that is completely boned, and again we will do the other side, just exposing that thigh bone, and just feel for it with your hands or your fingers, where it ends, where it starts, and then again knife under, and we will release I mean, there really isn't a lot on these shins, so you know, don't be too fussy when it gets to that very end. And there we have our legs deboned. And I just want to show you on this rabbit where we took those legs out of its cup joint. Those are its musk glands, like I say in all my videos. When you hear of people They say, oh, I had rabbit and it tasted gamey, or it absolutely stunk when I cooked it. There's the culprit. These glands here, they're scent glands. I mean, they stink. They're disgusting. And that's what happens sometimes. People take the legs off, come round this bone, take off those scent glands, leave it on the legs. You start cooking it, stewing it. Man, that will permeate the house like nobody's business. So there you are. Nasty little things. Anyway, right, on to the front end. Now with this front end then, this shoulder, you've got the joint. If you feel in there, there is like a tip. You can actually see like a triangle in there. That is the blade bone. Very finicky. So all we're going to do is just loosen off around it. It's quite tricky doing it for you on camera, but that's just the way it goes. So you can see it's coming free now. As you can see there, a tiny, tiny little blade bone, and then through the cup joint, the bore joint again. If I can get this on camera for you. Now what we need to do is you grab it, and that will pull out in one, and that, you can see how small that is, the tiny little blade bone. And then it's just a case of, again, repeating the same process like you did on the back legs. Meat, I'm not even going to put that bit of meat in. I'm just going to take out the main bone, and that is one of your shoulders done. So again, feel for the triangle. Let me just peel that back. I don't know if you can see that there. Beautiful, perfect triangle. So knife down the middle, just using the tip, either side. And again, just exposing it up to the bore joint. And again, through. Then one side, two side, and then push. Still connected, Scott. As you can see, I've broken that bore joint. So gently pull like we did with the other one. And that is blade bone number 2. So again, repeat as with the other side. Again, I'm not going to mess with that on the front. And there we have one completely boned out rabbit for you to do with what you wish. So, pretty cool, eh? Now obviously you could do whatever you want with that. In my original video, I cut the legs off there and I stuffed it and put them in the top. But what I'm just going to do, I'm going to just fold the legs in, just like that, look. Fold the shoulders back there and bring that into the middle, and that is its breasts, like that. And then we have obviously a split, can't be out, nothing to worry about. So thin over that backbone, and there we have one whole bone rabbit. So I'll just turn that over then. You can see we folded, like I said, the legs and the shoulders in. There's its breasts, look at that, hey? And then we'll turn it over so we just get a nice shape with it. And then we will just put some poultry bands around it to hold it. Well, there you go, my friends. One beautiful, completely boned rabbit. Hey? How cool is that? Just keep fettling it, look, I can't help it. Such a perfectionist. It's bordering on weirdo. But let's just close that up. Hey ho. I think that looks amazing. Completely boneless, solid, ready to go in the oven. Absolutely perfect. And again, I've got to get out more. I can't stop fettling with the innards because they are just so perfect. Let's get into these kidneys. Shelling them like broad beans, but aren't they awesome? The heart. And again, that other kidney. One completely boned and rolled wild English rabbit. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Scott Rea Project, another game butchery masterclass. And of course, if you've liked what you've seen here today, please click subscribe. You'll see the button down there somewhere. Excuse my bloody hands. This is Real Butchery. Also, check me out on my social media, Facebook, Scott Rea and the Scott Rea Project. And also on my Twitter at the Scott Rea Project. And I'm on Instagram, but I can't remember the name. I do apologise. So until next time, if you get a rabbit, do give this a go. Take your time. It really doesn't matter if you get a few tears, especially over here in England, you know, with these real thin skinned ones. Even I've done it. It's not a problem, but just look how it ends up. Absolutely brilliant. This is field to fork. This is wild food harvest. This is real game butchery. Right, until next time, take care, all the best. Look how wonderful that looks vat packed. Imagine having those stacked up in your freezer, eh? Ah, it's a wonderful life, isn't it? All the best.